Okay, we are live. Hello, everybody. Thank you, lovely subscribers. Non-subscribers, give this video a like because we are live and it helps us to be seen amongst many, many other themes in this universe. So I'm just going to switch back to that screen. That's done. And yeah, so we are in a situation where there is tremendous interplay going on in this universe, and particularly on the planet today. Guys, how are you doing?
Hi, Angela. I'm doing very well, thank you. And hi, Harrison. Nice to see you all again.
Nice to see you too, guys. I'm doing wonderful. And well, it has been a hectic week, but I'm here.
Good.
I feel the same. So today in the Spiritual Court of Equity, we are going to open it up because we have got a specific job to do. So before we get rolling, what I would like to say is if you would like a session with myself, you can contact me at Harmony in Perfect Counsel. You can find a link in the description below, and also other ways that you can support this process. So what we're about to do today is we are going to be looking at further levels of the dehumanization agenda and the whole Maya and illusion of the BS that is experienced on the planet today by a lot of people who subscribe to the system. So we're going to firstly look and identify in this open spiritual court of equity with all layers of ancestors. And we're going back to beyond the beginning. We're going back to the grandmother. So we're just going to connect and initiate grandmother, grandfather energy. And that's going to, the strength from that for Earth, Mother, for all the inhabitants is just going to increase here. And just feeling that wisdom step into the spiritual court of equity. It is infinite, it is eternal, it is divine grace. Can you feel that, guys?
Yes, I can also. I'd like to add as well, the grandmother and grandfather ancestral energies also working with the grids around the planet.
Brilliant, exactly. So, oh, that's strong. And what I would like to do here is that we're going to go back to Orion and the 3 galaxies of domination and control. And we just want to revisit the process of what took place in the last episode. And they're all in. Any strayway kind of groups, factions that have created negative interplay by their actions on Earth from millions of years ago. Future ones.
I'd just like to let the viewers know that right now in Orion, in 8D Orion, wars are being fought.
Yeah, and there really is a great division with that. So let's just go. I'm just going to pop in to the local Vatican for a visit. Hello, fellows there. And I'm just going, because I've what people might or might not know, I've been all over the world doing various works that involve resolution. I have, and I'm going to openly in this spiritual court of equity, after I've spoken about this, bring in the Jesuits to that and the groupings. So I'm going to revisit their tech, their spy tech in Arizona, and also that what is connected to the Vatican itself, the scan frequency, because I knew there was scamming. And we had to, earlier on in the week, avert that by scrambling their coding.
Well, while you're busy checking out the Vatican and the various offices that they have around the world operating for them,
Yeah.
I'm going to be tuning and working with the off-world Vatican in the Orion system and their various offices in that planetary system.
That's wonderful. And while we are there, we're also going to connect up to all the LinkedIn technology, all the military intelligence that is gathered on behalf of various factions resident on the planet today. I want to say that they are weaker. Yes, they are, because they are limited by form, by their own DNA form. And that will include what we talked about last week, the Black Cube intelligence agencies, the double, triple, this is going to be a bit murky, the double and triple agents here, and they will know who they are and be, some of which will be in hiding, but this is for the benefit of all. We've all been there, and we'll be providing debriefs for all those military intelligence agents that are out there that are linked to this technology. And all their universal intelligence gathering hubs will be highlighted and identified, as well as their data processing facilities in all realities. Now, Harrison, could you just take an overview here in the Spiritual Court of Equity for looking at debt equity in the current system that they are using to implement control on Earth?
Yeah, I'm plugging myself in, and the visions I'm getting, I'm just seeing cables and wires going around. And the way I can put it to the people for them to understand, yes, everything on earth is debt, but they can see how the government borrowing and spending is happening and how it's interlinking with their lives. And now take that and magnify it 10 times or 100 times than what is really there. This is what we are dealing with at the moment. It's heavy, heavy debt that is built on the souls of people, and it's like a trap system that they have to make sure that nobody is at full power at all times.
And I just wanted to highlight here, you're absolutely right, because it's really been hit home here. Not to in my observations of people, their lives, cultures, etc. Because this is about human life experience. And if people aren't given the opportunity to live in peace freely without being a slave, fighting for a crumb of bread in their existence that reduces them to tears, we're going to extend it out to, I'm going to say developing countries, because the old term is third world. But also this is firmly rooted in first world dynamics and politics and the financial inflow of that debt.
Well, I'd like to remind everyone, the same people that create debt are printing the money.
Exactly. And a lot of this is related to karma, right? So we're looking at the karma of these individuals that is being palmed off to others to work for, to pay for, that literally grinds their fingers to the bone. So these supra intelligent beings cannot function in the way that they're meant to. You know, I witnessed somebody cry so hard because they've had to just grind their fingers to the bone as a system slave. And I swear it inspired me. It really inspired me.
Well, a lot of the most good people are targeted, and that's the way that it works. I mean, they target good energy. They don't want you around. They don't want your positive input.
No, they do not. They do not. So what they would do with their technology based here in Orion, they would be looking to terminate robotically the light of those that carry the potentials. Now, that is not on. It's been going on for too long, millions of years, in and out of this planet. And it's got to stop. We've got to just keep the bullies out of the playpen and deal with them appropriately. So all of those are coming in. I just want to ensure that there's a full house, and there's a lot of beings out there that don't want to come in. They're resisting, they're stuck because they represent one way of thinking. And I could be called a light dictator. At this point, I could not give a hoot.
I'd just like to remind all the viewers that we are at war on Earth between the forces of light and the forces of darkness. There's a war going on, and we had to work at bringing down the forces of evil, not only on the Earth, but beyond the barriers of Earth itself, in the cosmos of the solar system and in the universe.
Thank you, Derek. So when we combine a multi-level thinking view of this, what percentage, and I find it okay and easy to work with percentages, and looking at this debt equity, let's just have a look at the strata of ancestors that kept certain beliefs in place. And I want to go through all the esoteric systems at the same time. Right, there's a lot that was anchored here from Orion, mostly. And it's a bit of a rinsing process. As we highlight, we identify it for resolution. And guys, I just want to check on the projection technology that's connected to the Vatican. And check the status of operation right now. Because that is dense, black light.
Yeah.
Well, you're exactly 100% correct. And we're going to remove that in this particular sitting of the Court of Equity.
Yeah. They have a huge amount of debt, and it's like they are the distribution center of majority of the debt that we have. You know, whether it's banking, whether it's through the preaching of, you know, salvation of the soul, where at every single point where a human being is starting being worse off, and they act as saviors of coming to bring salvation to the people. So it's, you know, the person who came up with this idea was, I could say, well, he had done his research well and knew it would entrap every single person the moment they use it. And you combine it with the military arm of the Vatican, because they still have it. They just changed the name from one thing to another, but they still have it.
Exactly. And also,
Well,
we see they have a black hue on the
I'd
edge
also like,
action.
sorry to interrupt, but I'd also like to remind viewers that the Vatican itself is dealing with dark magic sorcery.
Mm-hmm. So those that are responsible for those rituals and occult systems through the ancestral ages and past, I invite them forward to undo. Opportunity is being given, whether they see it or not. And I'm just going to send a gift to their one way of thinking DNA structure.
Well, while you're busy doing that, I'd like to just tell the viewers that a lot of people that have been caught up in this dark system with debt and working through the different systems of religious orders, whether it's the Jesuit or other orders, I'd say at least half, if not more than half the people involved here have been under mind control. So the Court of Equity is now dividing and separating the two different groups of people, the one that have voluntarily come forward to actually carry on the agenda of the draconian reptilians, and those that have been subjected to mind control, and it's not out of their, say, genuine heart energy to do it, but they've been subjected to mind control, and they just end up being soldiers in a group that have no way out. So the Court of Equity is actually taking the one group and actually giving them salvation.
Great.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
great.
seeing heavy machinery. It's like metals and metals. I don't know what they are doing with it. And
Yes.
I've also seen a flash of the mask of King Tut. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that golden.
Yes.
It's like an image has been splashed over my eyes, and there's a link in Egypt. Though you may not think much of Egypt about that, it's like there's something there, and it's connected with Vatican.
Black magic sorcery.
But also, I'm going to throw a side curveball here to the scientists that put it in place and helped and assisted with the development of that technology. What has been used is antimatter. So what this does is creates in and out of phase scenarios where it literally will be flash into a reality and then flash out into another reality, keeping a network, a mainframe of unstable activity at a universal flow of energy level. So I am an expert in that, and I'm just going to get that dealt with. And I feel my soul, oh, we haven't done this for a while. Great. So there is tremendous activity going on in Orion right now. I just want to ensure that all the connection points, the links to Vatican transistor radio system and relay system is out of action. Should never have let me in. Right, there's a fear going on in the Jesuit quarters. You know, I don't want to boast, but my DNA is better than your DNA. It's more full, femininely full, on a biological level that we can do nothing about. And that goes for the rest of humanity, who also share those same patterns and codes. We're just going to get an upshift for every living being on the planet so that their sight may see, question, and learn. And this is going to go through at a soul level, at the oversoul level, the monadic level, right the way to all of us where we join as one. Ooh.
Well, I want to add, how can any light come out of a construct that is operating through dark technology, i.e. the Vatican?
Exactly. It's like Windows 2000.
Ooh.
You can see it, no one can use it. And it's always likely to crash. Oh, so any crash points in the programming and software there, guys?
I'm just seeing the image of the sun. It's like the way it's usually red and like blowing up. And I don't know, I thought it was a dragon flying over, or I don't know what's happening, but
Well,
yes,
well,
go on,
I
David.
mean, you are actually quite correct. So now, what I'd like to do in this particular sitting of the Court of Equity, Angela was talking about a dark beam of energy. We are now going to go to the source of that dark beam of energy. So if I'm going to give you a visual, imagine quite a hilly area, and in that hilly area, almost in a deep valley, imagine quite wide buildings, not terribly high, and the roofs look like soup bowls, very dark, all like in the visual is very dark, very black, different shades of black, a lot of buildings with these rounded roofs on them.
Yeah.
And in one of these buildings is a crystal. The crystal is quite wide, not terribly tall, emanating this dark beam technology, working through different vibrational frequencies. Like a rainbow, you've got all the different colors of the rainbow, and each color has its own particular frequency. This beam operates in exactly the same way. I've called in the team. We have a team that is working with us as well with the court this evening to bring down this beam.
Great.
This
go on, sorry.
I want to go through it with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So this team that is working with us in the now moment, if you will, is divided into two groups.
Yeah.
But both groups are creating clouds of extremely dense white light out in the cosmos, appearing as if out of nowhere, billowing clouds of divine, thick, white light. And out of those thick, billowing clouds, pumping out of nowhere, appears a beam of white light that strikes the top of this crystal like a lightning bolt. Ooh. The crystal cracks and splits apart, and inside of it, they have been using what is termed worm technology. And this lightning bolt puts out or diffuses as it strikes the worm technology is fizzling out, and simultaneously the beam starts to falter, and there it is gone. And what I'd like to tell the viewers now is that the two groups helping the court and humanity right now are a group of dragons. And as this beam has faltered out, dragons caught in the dark energy of this beam are released and are forming a grid around planet Earth, bringing the true magic, light, love, energy through for those that wish to use it and to assist the earth in its evolution and its upgrade into 5D and above. So when you saw that dragon fly past, Harrison, you're 100% correct. Those dragons that had been caught and entrapped have been released. We look at the black cube in Mecca. We look at the various constructed cubes in the Vatican and its satellite offices, not only on Earth, but on other planetary systems. And we see that the power that they have held is no more. This is the work that the court has done right now in its fight and its battle against the forces of dark, not only on Earth. We are assisting our brothers and sisters off planet as well.
Derek, you're spot on, darling, spot on. So
Yeah,
from last
that
night,
was-
the dragons were assembling, and this is probably why certain things that I explained to you were going on. You know, there was a mass assembly that was taking place with the preparation for this work. I will also thank the dragon woman out there because really, you know, we're peaceful beings at the core, and so are they. And when we work with these energies, we achieve so much, but so much peace. It's like, sweet Angela, don't be irritated, don't be pulled out of your own central core. And very often it's difficult because it seems so unjust. This is why the spiritual courts of equity are so important for the resolution for each individual, each lineage, each star lineage, and for the universes that we live and reside and manifest upon. So the teams that are taking care of the crystal imprints, okay, they are being very careful about this because there are layers of traps within. It's like within, you know, those Russian dolls, a doll within a doll within a doll kind of scene, and they're very tricky about this. Now we have the rise of the Americas here on Earth because there are certain stations and satellite technologies that link to the original ways. Now I'm just feeling the grandparents get excited here, and that's amazing. So that means that there is space being held at various points with every earth-focused, heart-based, indigenous, natural founder early race is of Earth, and it's beautiful. So there's massive shifting that's going on in Asia as well, because there were many trapped dragons. And remember, St. George slayed the dragon in their esoteric mythology. So this is going to go right to the heart of the control system. So, Derek, that's so beautiful. That really is. That struck me so beautiful and so on point. So, oh, now the frequencies are beginning to go down. Harrison, can you just observe all the esoteric ancestors that kept beliefs trapped in a specific way of being, and just tell me what your finds are?
Yeah, I'm looking at it. I'm seeing like different pockets, they have, and one of the major things that some of these esoteric station or pockets they have is that their first and main agenda was to invert, like to remove the divine femininity that was the original form of Earth.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was the first agenda they struck out, and they made this society a male-dominated kind of thing, and this is the same card they keep on playing over and over again, and I think this is what we need to look into. There are also other things, but this is the major thing that is being shown to me now.
Yes, we're hitting us that certain echelon. So that's really positive. Great.
Yes, and also disconnecting the ancestral line with its connection to Pachamama, Mother Earth, and bringing in other constructs to replace that with, which are all false.
Exactly. We discussed this in last week's episode,
Yes.
about the gender reassignment clinics and all of those crazy people that are just not even in reality. Well, they are in a reality, but it's a constructed one.
Exactly.
By man. Typical. But anyway, we seek to bring that. Oh, I mean, it's the level of the experimentation process. Now, all experiments should have been deleted year 2000. So I'm not getting it's a wide program as such these days. However, there are those that are specifically targeted. And these are awake beings here. And this is something that, you know, is very, very important in the evolution, is that everybody, every single human is here to play a role and a part in that inner transformation of Earth as one with Earth and the universe.
Yeah, but one also needs to take into account specifically in the last recent months and years how people have been infiltrated with artificial intelligence.
Exactly. Groomed for it. Now, some of the esoteric systems have been cleared out. I would say about 50%. There are some very early levels here. And literally, actually, I'm going to go back to the worm technology that you talked about for the dissolution of their equipment. It is literally the worm that turned. You ever heard that phrase? The worm that turned.
Well, right now, in that specific building in Orion, the smoke is actually coming out of the building. And actually, the floor of the building it's like lighting a fire outdoors, and the embers of the fire are creating a hole into the ground. That's exactly what it's like. And because it's been linked to Earth Vatican and its various satellites, underneath the Vatican right now, the Earth is hot, it's smoldering, and it's burning deep down underneath it. And as we've shown that it's being burnt, that there's a fire and it's burning, and as it's burning, it's removing the last remnants of that worm technology holding the columns of the Vatican structure up.
Wonderful news. It's literally like Elvis left the building. You look around, yes. There's no one there, smoke coming out. It's like, oh, where is everybody? So funny. Oh, so the Jesuit overlords. I'm just going to take a quick look at those guys. Note guys. You know, I'm sure there are lots of dodgy women in there as well, but mostly patriarchal. So I'm getting a sense that they were trying to scan for this in advance. And I'm glad that they didn't get a full picture. I'm just reminding them of the reason that why they came here. Why did you come here? Share with all, if you can. Well, one of them is to take over Dreamtime of Earth. Yes, we knew that.
Also, what I'd like to mention is that I'm just being shown that, you know, just like a person's got an auric field around them, you know, buildings also that have been created have an auric field around them and energy coming out of them. So the auric field or the energy field around the Vatican is now being constrained. So it's like being placed in a round ball, and that energy cannot move beyond that. So that is the result of the work that has just taken place with the assistance of our dragon brothers and sisters, the male and female, also grandmother dragon and grandfather dragon.
Ooh, that's beautiful. Now,
Yeah.
here's the next thing of this. Where is the power source for their ball of density?
Well, it has, well, a lot of that energy was coming straight from Orion with that black stream of energy operating at different vibrational frequencies, and that's been that's actually been vaporized in this sitting right now.
Brilliant.
So that doesn't exist for them. So also what's happening is that the harvesting that's taken place through that wave of dark energy does not exist anymore. So it's also shutting down the harvesting fields that have taken place.
Great.
That's amazing, because at first I was seeing these grid lines, and it's like they are back to their natural white color, interconnecting. It's like they were being sucked energy out of. But after that, I'm seeing like this Amazonian African nature, where I can see vast and vast of trees and valleys, and I can see a huge water body which is of clear water. It's like the heavy lifting has been done, and we can see physical manifestation like in real time coming.
Absolutely agree with you, Harrison.
It's
like that energy is actually being reclaimed back to Mother Nature.
That makes me so happy. Oh. It's just all beautiful, and I just would like to say to everybody, we are operating at a high speed today because we have a time constraint, a fraud time constraint, and we're looking to get that resolved, but there is a specific limit, but it just goes to show how much you can achieve in a tea break.
Yes.
You know. So what I'm doing in the background here is I'm just analysing the dynamics of the movement of the spiritual court of equity. And what that means is that I'm just looking and just double checking everything, triple checking what's happening and what other things that might just be keeping this in place. Now, in technical terms, we're just looking for backups as well, and other intelligence gathering hubs and data, which is going to be removed. But also it's important to note the status of those in those intelligence gathering hubs who are being debriefed and essentially brought back into who they are living on Earth now.
I agree. And also what's taking place is with this removal of this dark technology, worm beam that's been deactivated or vaporized, what is taking place right now is that the true organic sound frequency is being re-established on Earth. So the sound frequencies resuming back to its natural organic blueprint.
Beautiful. As you're saying that, Derek, what I saw was literally Mother Earth, the sentience of Earth, having a natural abortion process of that worm technology.
That's amazing.
Like, literally spat it out. Right, and that's going to help with the feminine frequency on Earth today, and we just want to ensure that that reaches all beings, because we've all been male and female in the past. But it's the sensitivities of the soul, the different aspects of ourselves and our origins. So I just want anyone that's tuning in to really experience that softness, and don't mistake it for weakness, folks, because it really isn't.
I'm really aware of the sound frequency around me changing.
Brilliant. I can feel it in my waters.
Which actually, that has a deeper meaning, that the sound frequency, water is consciousness as well, is actually attuning to the new vibrational frequency that is, well, it's not new, it's the ancient vibrational frequency that originally was, that's being reestablished.
That's right. And the first place that women who are incarnated now, biological females, will feel it in the womb. And this is really important for all women to note. This is the power of the womb. When we are connected to Earth technology fully in that way, we can really do a lot of things. We can birth new areas. We can birth beings. That counts for something. Not just being called people that give birth.
It's the continuation of life, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah, and I don't know, it's like the people now that are starting, they at some point are gonna see new star formations, because this construct was kind of creating an illusion that this is what we have. And I think some of our scientists are gonna have a difficult time to try and explain some of things that they are not gonna just call them paranormal, and people are gonna take those words just like that. They'll need more explanation than just the word paranormal.
Exactly. A bit slow, aren't they? But they were designed to be slow. You know, it's, you know, what humans are trying to achieve is full operational status and beyond, to live their potentials. And that includes those with the one strand of DNA that's faulty or linear in its thinking. Excuse me, says the coffee. Right, so that is really going well. As we take the overview, could you provide a percentage of completion for the actual clearing?
Well, the work we've done this evening is 100% complete. I know it because of the frequencies and the change in the sound.
Brilliant. Harrison?
I don't know, I was seeing two alternating figures. One was 63, another one was jumped to 83%. So
yeah,
it's like different things are being resolved at different
levels. Yeah, absolutely right. So the resolution itself has taken place. So Derek is absolutely right about that. But also what you're picking up on is the levels, as you say, that are clearing through. We can provide the resolution, but it takes a few moments to actually work with the physical clearing aspect to just ensure that, it's basically the work of the court. We remove the impacts and resolve the technology. So it's really great.
Harrison was talking about Egypt earlier on. And what I'm being shown right now is that the source of the Nile, the clearing's taking place there. And as you say, 86% moving into physical. And as it's been cleared at the source of the Nile, I think it's in Ethiopia, that it's going to start moving through the waters. And the clearings are actually taking place there as well now. So it's starting to flow, very much so.
The moment you have said that the source of River Nile, Astoria, has just come up in my mind, the one that we have been told by our elders. During the time of the British Empire, when it was expanding its operations in Africa, and since they had gone to Egypt and they were able to read some of the manuscripts in Egypt, one of the manuscripts stated that the person who will capture the source of River Nile, their empire will never come to an end. And that's why they sent explorers to understand what the source of River Nile was. And the person who started scouting on looking at the source of River Nile ended up saying the source was in Uganda from Lake Victoria, where the larger part of River Nile comes from, but they lacked the esoteric or the deeper knowingness where the real water comes from. And as you said, Derek, a part of the water comes from Ethiopia. Also, at that point where I am was also called Ethiopia. A huge chunk of water comes from Mount Kenya, which goes underground and pours into Lake Victoria and then goes all the way. And since the British Empire couldn't understand this, that's where they focused much of their operations in Uganda. And that's how the empire came crumbling after a couple of decades.
Absolutely spot on there, Harrison. And a lot of Ugandan refugees went to the UK to hold positions of power. Funny that, isn't it? It's all linked. But also in this moment, I would like to refer to Chile and Peru for the water sources of Earth that could actually travel upstream. Because it's going to be back in the day, it was all one landmass. So it's just going to be interesting just to put the pieces of the puzzle together.
Well, what I'm actually seeing right now, as you're speaking about Chile and Peru, and we're talking about Egypt, and as Harrison rightfully mentioned, the underwater source from Kilimanjaro into the River Nile, deep underneath the earth, as you were speaking, Angela, I see the rivers, the source of that water reconnecting deep underneath the earth from Africa to South America.
Beautiful.
We can't make this up, folks. It's happening.
And it's live, I would like to add. Not structured, scripted, or pre-programmed. We just go for it with a theme because we know it needs to be done. You can feel it. It's a tangible process of knowing, using your inner skills, intuition, gifts of your infinite self. Really important here. So what we're each doing, Derek has a specific skill set, so does Harrison, and so do I. So when we bring all those different elements in, along with all the other beings that help us in this scene, you know, we really get to achieve masses here. Now, I'm just being shown the final phase of completion of the removal of that projection technology.
Just also being shown smoke rising out of the middle of Ayers Rock, Uluru in Australia.
Great.
And there's also a connection there with the ancestral elders and the ancestral grandmothers and grandfathers, all coming to pay respects for the work that the court has been doing. As they've also want to mention, they've been working silently at the back of the court to assist and to help in this session.
And I would just like to express my deepest thanks to all of them and my love for all of them, that we all may make this journey a successful one, a fun one, full of truth, beauty, and love. I've got goosebumps all over, even on my kneecaps. It's like, oh. Honestly, it's just so heart moving, warming. So in that moment of heart love, what I'm going to do is just transmit that frequency out there to every single being alive today and dead, in all degrees of separation, because that's just too good not to share. And I can love a lot.
And you're talking about the womb earlier on, and what I'd like to add, that let's also mention the waters of the womb, which is actually being uplifted right now as well through this process.
May all women, I'm going to send this prayer out on top of it, give birth in complete joy.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to take the opportunity to just make sure that they are supported in that process, not disconnected or projected at or made to feel fear. I'm just going to take it forward. I knew it was going into the women's work. Because the illusion is that we can, as women, hold space for each other's birth, for each other's children, because those were the original ways. There are always women around at birth, not hard, technical, scientific doctor men. All women.
You know, and the celebration of life coming through as well, you know, was removed with that process of removing the family.
Exactly. They take the family out of the process.
I think that's why they brought the term job. You have to work to finance your living here. So
yeah, but that's also the deconstruction of the family unit. You know, it's part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I think, yeah.
To reconstruct it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I just got the news that because of the quantitative easing that UK is doing, it's gonna create havoc into their own economy. And I'm wondering, because you have taken this system down, which they depend on it in terms of spreading their debt and what have you, what's gonna happen if you start printing massive money to counter the cost of living for the people in there, and inflation is on the roof?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. That it's the bail-in of slavery.
Yeah. And the real winner here is United States, you know, crushing every single person as long as they remain safe and secure. They don't care what happens to the rest of the world.
No.
And I think they, because of this egoistic kind of nature they have, this is where their downfall is coming out, because every single person is talking about it, you know.
Yes, well, I just want to remind everybody as well, and as you're speaking, Harrison, that one of the satellites of the Vatican is Washington. And with the work that we've done in this particular session, that particular, that strong beam of dark energy has also been taken down in Washington. So it's one of the satellites. So the session's been incredibly important, and it's the picture is much bigger than we've actually spoken about and stated. You know.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And, it's the readiness here. Right. There's a lot of new frequencies that they're sorting through that will re-establish a new pattern of fairness and justness and equity for all. And the spiritual courts of equity are designed to assist with that process. So at this point, I would like to say again, give us a like, go on. It helps, it really does. Otherwise, we're cast to the back room of YouTube. We don't want that. So yeah, give us a like. If you would like a session, do get in contact with me. Details will be below. Just checking on again on percentage of completion with you both there of the actual dismantling of that ray system. And
the ray system's dismantled. It's 100% dismantled.
Great. Harrison, perspectives?
Yeah, that's what I'm reading out right now. It's like the entire system is down, and I was having these thoughts. How are they gonna fund their war?
No, exactly. So what I was looking at in that moment from a medicine perspective is the sun, the moon, and the stars. So has the alchemy of their projection been cancelled?
Absolutely. No doubt about it.
I'd keep going back because I'm such a double checker and a triple checker. I don't want to leave anything to reboot itself. That's what I'm looking for. Because I suppose I'm just a spiritual court of equity cynic.
No, you're just aware that everything's layered, and all the layers need to be dismantled simultaneously, but it has.
Yeah, great. That just reflects my journey. Oh, wonderful. So would you like to add any words there, guys, about this process, what we're doing, a message for the listener in the future, in the past, a subscriber, darlings, thanks for staying with us.
What I'd like to tell all the viewers that there are also unseen energies at play in the sessions and the work that we do. So I'm going to send out a holographic shape to all the viewers that's going to, how should I say it? It's like an X-ray machine that's going to move around your body, removing any artificial intelligences, take them down, and give you up your freedom, should we say. So that's a gift to all of you watching this particular session. And as I put my hand out, that frequency will go into your auric field, that holographic, geometric, sacred shape, and it will scan and start to remove at whatever level you're at, any sort of dark intelligence interference.
Wonderful. Lucky people.
Yes.
Yeah, that's amazing, because as you're talking, I could see this imagery of being at coast and I mean at the beach, and I could see the palm trees. The sun is setting down. It's quite a beautiful kind of a scenery, and there's
Lovely.
there's a frequency that's been broadcasted to everyone, and it's up to them to choose it.
Yeah, I know which channel I'd subscribe to. Yeah, great. Thanks, guys. It's been a real blitzer of a session.
Thank you all very much.
I would like to say a special thank you to someone very dear in my life, and she is one of the most amazing beings ever. And I would just like to get that in there because I love her and she is amazing beyond words. You probably all met. But anyway, so to the listener, we're going to be doing more spiritual courts of equity next week, where we shall have another theme and we shall report back and we shall assess what has taken place as a result of what we've been doing in these past couple of weeks. If you have any questions, do ask. No matter how crazy it sounds, nothing will surprise us, and we will answer you in the comments or get in contact. Let us know where you are. If you feel there's a resolution issue you would like to take care of, do bring it forward and we can set up a spiritual court of equity for your ancestors and the problems that you may encounter as a being on earth in this new time. So thank you, everybody. I'm just going to remember.
Hi, everybody.
Bye.
Yeah. If she could remember, that would be great. Okay, I'm just going to knock that bit off. No. Well, I'm just going to stay here and just figure it out. Guys, keep talking.
I'm going to leave you guys. I'm going to leave you all, and I'll see you next week.
Yes, great.
Yeah.
All right, dear.
Bye.
You take care.